Alcohol. Everyone thinks they know a great deal about it. We drink it, we praise it, and we even grade it. Most people in their lives get very well acquainted with the hard stuff, but surprisingly, we don't seem to know all that much about it. Would it surprise you to know that as well as filling our cups and bolstering our confidence, we can also use it to power our cars, make energy, and create a number of useful and interesting compounds? One great way to understand more about alcohol is to understand where exactly it is that we get it from. What process do we use to turn grapes into wine? Well, the answer to this question can be answered with one word: fermentation. Chemically speaking, fermentation is a complex series of reactions which convert carbohydrates, mainly sugars, into starch and ethanol, and of course carbon dioxide. These sugars normally include sucrose, conventional sugar, and glucose. Fermenting sugars requires anaerobic conditions, which pretty much just means no oxygen, with careful controlled temperatures of 35 to 40 degrees. Below 25 degrees, the reaction rate is too slow, but at a higher temperature, the enzyme starts to become unfit and lose efficiency. If oxygen is present, then rather than ethanol being produced, instead we get ethanoic acid or vinegar. The majority of sugars are rich in sucrose, but uneconomic to produce or too expensive. In this case, chemists add water and yeast. This then reacts with the water, producing glucose and fructose, both of which have the same molecular formula. The goal of chemists in this process is to make ethanol. Ethanol is important because it can be used as a fuel in internal combustion engines. It can be economically produced from renewable resources or subsidized as a fuel to reduce air pollution. With the recent concerns over energy and fossil fuels, ethanol as a fuel seems like a very good option. Indeed, most petrol is treated with ethanol in a certain percentage. For ethanol, these main advantages include complete combustion with minimal pollution, able to be mass-produced with relative ease, it's renewable, it burns more cleanly than any other petroleum. However, it isn't without its disadvantages, which mostly include a need to modify fuel lines and engines if the ethanol is more than 10 to 15% when mixed with petrol, the low price of still readily available petroleum. Ethanol isn't still as economic as petroleum. Large tax of land will need to be allocated to make it economic from agricultural means. Lower heat of combustion per mole is another really big concern for chemists. Per unit of volume and per unit of mass, it is just simply less than petroleum. What does this mean for ethanol though? Well, it doesn't really affect it too much. One thing mentioned about ethanol is the fact that it's renewable. Ethanol can be called a renewable resource because it can be made from plant material, which is why agriculture is important for its production. Along with this, its products of combustion, carbon dioxide and water, are the reactants that plants need for photosynthesis. So, because of this, it's not so much a matter of which is better, but rather for how much longer one will stay better.
Created using Powtoon.